Okay, I think we're live now. Hey, Danielle.
Hello, how are you?
Hello, I'm good. I'm just finishing my coffee. I'm very excited to be here with you today. We do those live session every week, but often I'm on my own, so it's just better to be joined by you. And today we're going to talk about meta ads, more specifically, the 5 things you need to do before actually ever running meta ads. So kind of taking it back to basics, we are going to do other, chats that might be a bit more specific. But we need to start with that because there are definitely some things that you need to have in place to make sure that you are going to get the results that you want from ads. And so that's really what we want to cover today, which I guess is good if you have never run ads before, but you're interested in getting started. And or if you are running ads, it's not really quite working. There might be a few things that you haven't got in place that would really help boost your results. Before we dive in, Danielle, wrong side, this one. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. So I'm Danielle. I am the owner at Ambition Digital Solutions. We are a very small paid advertising and email marketing agency, and we help female business owners grow and scale their business to 5 and multiple 5-figure months. We use Facebook ads, Google ads, and email marketing to achieve that for them.
And Danielle is also, I'll put your website here. I'll put it back at the end also. You can find her right there. And she's also the meta ads coach inside of the Launchpad program. So supporting our clients running ads after setting up website and email marketing because, well, we'll talk about that in a second. So I don't want to compare myself, but yeah, let's maybe jump in. So we've got five things we want to go through. I will say before we do that though, please ask question live. Alicia is behind the scene taking your questions and putting it in a document for us. And if I know that we do those calls a little late in the US because we're both in Australia and there's kids and school drop-offs and all of that for us to do in the morning. So I know that we often get a lot more replays than we get people attending live. So if you're watching the replay, please feel free to still ask questions in the comments below, and we will be monitoring them after the live as well. So that you're not completely missing out because it was an odd time for you to join. So the first point is your website, Danielle, right? And your conversion rate on your website. What do we want this to be at before we start running ads?
Ideally, I like to see a website that converts at about 1.5% because it's a good indicator that once we start sending traffic, we will get sales. If you're converting under 1%, it's just not high enough and it's going to cost you too much to run the ads. Cost per acquisition will be high, cost per outbound click will be high, and you'll be sending traffic, paying for traffic to hit your website, and they won't convert. And the last thing we ever want is for someone to be spending money on paid ads and not making money back. So a website that is at least 1.5% conversion rate.
Yeah. And I think this is true, like, even outside of ads, to be honest, like your conversion rate is obviously one of those key metrics that if you change by even plus 0.2%, plus 0.5%, it has really important consequences on like every other metrics. Like you need less traffic, you need to invest less resources into your marketing of time and or money if you're running ads because you need less volume to generate the same amount of revenue. So it's a very important one. I just thought actually we do have a free resource. I'm trying to figure out at the top of my head where to find it. We will link below in the comments. I'm sure Alicia will. Alicia, you're gonna have to figure that one out for me. But we have templates for like your homepage, your collection page that can help you basically design, looking at the layout and what needs to be on each page and in what order, to have a website that is professional and that is optimized for conversions. There are a few things that you need to have on your website for the customers to understand what you're selling and also build trust and look like a brand that they can actually go ahead and purchase from. And it's not complicated, but it is kind of crucial. And if you miss those things, your website's not going to be, the conversion rate are usually then low. So the link will be below or somewhere around this video, or you can just go to our website, Tizit.co, and you'll find it there. It's called the Website Revenue Booster Kit, and it's got page templates for page designs in there that you can use to help you with that. So yeah, definitely number one, that's very important. What's the second thing that you would say people need to have before running ads?
A proven offer. So some form of organic sales or sales that are happening organically. Do you have proof in the product? I do see quite a few businesses very, very new, and because obviously it does take time to build a business up, it takes time to get your website traffic. They want to jump into ads a little prematurely, I would say, and there's not enough proof on their product offer to pay for people to hit their website and buy their product. So if you have been just doing organic, you haven't run ads before, but you are getting sales. If you were running ads by yourself, we would like to see usually about $2,000 a month before you would start investing ads in by yourself, definitely not paying an agency. But sort of 2,000 or more consistently in sales with your products is sort of around that starting point where you can say, I could think about running some ads now to really start generating more revenue.
I think something that's because I feel like a lot of people, when we say things like that, then think, okay, well, then it's a chicken and an egg situation, because organic not working and the reach being very low is the reason why I want to be running ads. So like, how do I go around that? And I think there's a couple of answers, and let me know, Danielle, if you agree or if you want to add to that. But first, you can still run ads if you don't have, evidence behind sales. It'll just cost you more to figure out which products work or not work, because the campaign that you're launching if it works, it works. If it doesn't work, you're not sure whether it's because the product selection was not correct and we didn't focus on the right product to promote, or if it's because of the settings of your campaign or something like that. So it doesn't mean you can't do it. It just means that you have to be willing to invest into testing a little bit more than you would if you already know, hey, this is my best seller. I know this product sells. And that can be on your website. It can be on Etsy. Like if you have a product that people demand and order, then you definitely want to put money behind that. Don't do the mistake of trying to use ads to sell products that don't sell organically, because we see that a lot too, where it's like, I've got my best sellers, but I've got those other products that I think are great, and like I want to put ads behind them so that they sell as much as my bestseller. And that's not really how it works. Like you're always going to have some bestsellers that lead the majority of your sales. And if you know they're selling, put more money behind them so that they keep selling well. And then the other thing I will say there as well is, if you don't have that kind of organic evidence of sales, running, and that kind of maybe goes into our point 3, which is email marketing, running a leads campaign can be a really good solution instead of running directly sales campaign with your ads. Growing your email list so that then you can sell to your email list, which is, a lot more affordable from the ads perspective, because you're buying leads and email signups, you're not buying sales. And then you can convert with your email automation and your email flow and get some evidence behind your product sales this way.
Yep.
So actually let me look at a little list. This is our next point actually. So email marketing setup and integrated. Do you want to chat about that a little bit?
Yeah. So I have seen, and I have been looking into accounts where they are running ads and they don't have email and they miss out on sales. Like it is just that simple. Email and ads essentially go hand in hand. So we notice when we run ads for our clients, and it is just an ad to a product, to one of their best-selling products, and we might have the welcome discount pop up sort of upon a half a page scroll. We notice that the signups for the email list go up as soon as we run ads. Even though we're getting purchases, there is always going to be a segment of the audience that will come over to the website that are interested in your product, but maybe they're not going to buy right now. So we need a way to capture those details so that we can sell to them later on. And that is how we make ads really work hard for your business so that you can grow and scale. And you need to have those email welcome flows definitely set up in order to nurture your client, your customers, get them to make that first purchase. But also the abandoned cart, it is so important, because 7 out of every 10 shopping carts are abandoned. And we definitely see when we run ads, we might have 50 people add to cart, but only 25 of those people make it to the checkout. And we want to have a way to capture, if possible, we want to be able to capture as many of those people that drop out between the cart and the checkout, to send them an email to maybe remind them to come back and complete their purchase. Because that is the low-hanging fruit in terms of product sales. It's the easiest sale you're ever going to make, probably.
Yeah. We did a live with Amy, who's also a coach inside of the Launchpad. She's the email marketing coach. And we talked about that specific flow and all the other flow that we would say you need to have as a baseline. So I'd recommend you go and watch the live with Amy. I think that was 2 weeks or so ago that we did that. And yeah, abandoned cart flow, very low hanging fruit, actually not that difficult to set up. There's not a whole lot of copy to come up with. You're basically just reminding people that, hey, you've left this in the cart. Welcome flow, absolutely. And some kind of basically an incentive for people to join your list as well when they get to your website. So that might look like a discount, like a welcome discount is very common in e-commerce, 10% off first order, $15, whatever the case might be. Keep your profit margin in good shape though. And it can be a PDF or something like that as well. It depends on really basically what you are selling. I know for those of you who sell kits or patterns and things like that, PDF can work quite well as well. Informational, basically lead magnets. But other than that, think free shipping on first order, free shipping over XYZ. Welcome discount. All of those are good options as well.
Yeah, absolutely. They are. They're probably the easiest. They're the ones we see they work, especially for people who are ready to buy or ready to buy within the next sort of 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then the welcome flow is beautiful for those that may be, sort of a week, 2 weeks away, but then you can continue to nurture them.
Absolutely. And then kind of, I'm zigzagging a bit between those 2 points because they're very related, but back to what we were saying was like evidence of sales. Again, if you can't or don't want to invest into directly like sales campaign with Meta, because they are a higher budget and you don't know exactly which products you want to promote yet because you don't know which one sells best. Having campaigns that instead of getting sales will get you email signups is a really great way to nurture those people who are a little further along. The opposite. They still have a little bit to do before they are ready to buy, but you're going to nurture them with your email sequence, and it's a lot more affordable on the acquisition front than it might be to buy like a sale, basically. So email marketing, you can't bypass. Like it's basically, to me, it's part of building a website. It's website plus email or like the one thing.
Yeah, we won't. I occasionally have people come in who want to talk to me to run ads for them. And I will not run them if they do not have their email marketing set up.
Yeah.
It's one of my guidelines. Do you have email marketing set up? Have you got all your flows set up? Yes or no? If no, well, we can do it for you if you want to invest. But if not, we can't run your ads because it's pointless. You're just going to you're leaving money on the table.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, the next thing is the Meta Business Manager setup. Everyone's favorite tool in the world.
Oh, I laugh. I shouldn't laugh, but I do laugh because it looks different every time I go in there. And if it feels complicated, it's because it is complicated.
It's just not the best user experience in there. But it's funny. We're having a laugh, guys, because I also kind of I want you to have a laugh when you log into, like, we all feel this way. It's so funny that Meta is one of the biggest, if not the biggest company in the world, and they can't figure out how to make this thing just like easy to understand. But in any case, once you're in there and you learn which button to click, you do find your way around fairly easily, and you just need to know what you're looking for. But what is Meta Business Manager?
The best way I can describe it is that Meta Business Manager is a house. It is your house, and it is where you put all of your assets across the Meta platform. So that is your Instagram account, your Facebook page, your ad account, your Pixel, and your catalog, your commerce catalog that you link up through Shopify or WordPress or whichever platform you're using. And it all sits under this Meta Business Manager, and it will have a name, and that is where everything sits, and that is where we run our ads. It's where we get access to partners. It's where we look at our Pixel data, basically everything except posting to your page. You don't do that in there, but your page will sit in there. So you need to have that, because a lot of people I know boost posts. I know how easy Instagram and Facebook and Meta, and they make it easy. Do you want to boost this post? Or this post is performing better than, or it's had more reach than the last X amount of posts. Do you want to boost it? My advice is always to stay away from boosting where possible, because it's just not as powerful as running your ads through Ads Manager. And in order to do that, you need to have your Meta Business Manager set up so that it's all in there. You set your audiences up in there, so you can target interest audiences, you can target location audiences, you can set your retargeting audiences up all in there, and you can use those in the Ads Manager that sits inside Business Manager, and that is best practice. Yeah,
absolutely. I think the boosting post, unfortunately, and I hear that a lot from the makers that I work with, are a way people try ads and then don't see results, and therefore basically assume ads don't work, or I'm not. I tried ads, I put that much money into ads, it didn't work for me. And the reality is that ads can or cannot work depending on the strategy behind them, basically. And so the Meta Business Manager, yes, there's a few more steps. Yes, you're going to have to learn how to actually have a strategy and build those audiences and how to target and all of that, but you get that control. Whereas with boosting posts, it's a little bit more like, we don't really know what we want to get. I think a lot of people get a lot of engagement, get a lot of traffic, but that's not what we want. We want email signups and sales.
Yeah. So it's a boosted post. So initially, to boost a post, it was for reach and it was for engagement, and that is still the best way they work. And what does happen is a lot of people pop a post that they will boost their post, but that particular social media post is probably more top of funnel, it's more connection, it's more for engagement, it's not for sales. And it gets boosted. And I know a lot of people expect sales to come through it, and that's not what happens, because that's not the purpose of boosting a post. Boosting a post is literally for engagement on the post.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah, it's very important to understand, like Facebook, I keep saying Facebook, which ages me, Meta. Meta is, they have so many data points on all of us that they know if you want engagement, they know who to go for and show that post to for someone to comment or like, or, engage with that content. If you want sales, they know who the buyers are. If you want someone who might be interested in signing on your email list, they know who those people are. And so you're paying for different things and you're requesting different things from Meta based on how you set up your ads. And boosting posts really is not going to get you the results that you're really looking for, which are sales. And so that's why I got all the time, people all the time tell me, I've tried ads, it didn't work. And I ask, well, how did you run them? It was either a traffic ad or it was a boosted post that created a lot of engagement, but then didn't turn into sales. And that's super discouraging. And I hate that, because then people feel, then imposter syndrome kicks in and you go, my products suck, my business suck. I've got all this engagement on my post and no one wants to buy my product. And it's actually not that at all. It's just that you've paid for engagement. And so that's what you got. So it's really important to set up Meta Business Manager, set up things properly in there, connect all of those accounts, and run your ads via the Ads Manager and not the suite or boosting your post, because they work very differently.
They do. Even the suite, you can run an ad in there, but it is still limited in terms of who you can target and the amount of creatives you can run. You can only run one creative per campaign in there, it's the same as boosting a post, really.
Yeah. You really need to be on your desktop using Meta Business Manager and Ads Manager to run your ads.
Yeah, not the mobile phone.
No, definitely not your mobile phone. You don't want to be on there on your mobile phone. Okay, the next point is actually the pixel. So what is a pixel? How do we, what do we need to do here to make sure that we're ready?
Yeah. So the pixel is a little bit of tracking code that you can place on your website that from Meta, Facebook, that essentially, and this is going to sound a bit icky, but essentially it spies on people who are on your website. It tracks the use, it tracks their data, it takes all that information back into Meta, and then it allows you to one, retarget. But I think the other thing it does is when we're on our phones or the internet and we hit a website with a pixel installed, Meta takes that data and then can put us into interest-based audiences. So it knows people are interested in baking. It knows people are interested in buying gardening products or plants, or because the pixel's installed on those sites. And then when we go to set ads up, we can target people with those interest groups, and Meta has a big audience that it can then serve the ads out to. So that's the point of that's essentially what it does in a nutshell. We have to, and we need to have a pixel on us. We cannot run ads without a pixel or data set, as they call it now. So that absolutely has to be installed on your website, preferably through a partner integration, because setup is super duper easy. But without that, we can't run ads.
Yeah. And if you are using basically Shopify, which is what the majority of the people you work with use, and we would recommend you use too, or something like WooCommerce, they do have apps and integration and plugins that basically you click a couple buttons and it's all done for you.
It's so easy.
But it is very, very important, because it's also what's going to help Meta understand more your customers and who's buying, who's not buying. And then the more you run your ads and the more results you get, the better they get at understanding who to show your ads to. Like the feedback loop is very important there too. And then this is how you can do things that, obviously this is not possible if you sell on anywhere else than your website. And that's why a lot of platforms and marketplaces like Etsy are very limiting, because we don't have access to all of that. But what you can do with the pixel is really define as well. They know who visited your website, but they also know who visited what products. So then you can show ads that show that specific product to someone when they go to Instagram, which is a lot more high conversion basically than just picking yourself a random product. You're showing that person what they've seen. So it's kind of like those dynamic thing you can only do because of that data set or pixel. I hate that they've renamed it data set. I love the word pixel, so I'm just going to keep calling it a pixel. It was cuter. Data set feels like a scary thing, and I'm like, pixel, like I like the pixel. Anyway, they're the same thing, guys. It was called a pixel for decades, and then one day they went, we're going to call it. We're going to mix it.
They moved it. They moved it in the back of Business Manager, and nobody could find it. And they didn't tell anybody where they moved it.
And we also renamed it. It's like, okay, well, thank you so much, Meta. We really needed that. Anyway, and then you can do those retargeting that you started mentioning before as well, Danielle, where we will have data basically on who added something to cart or who engaged with the product recently. And we can show, again, those products to those people when they log into Instagram or Facebook. Or anywhere on the Meta universe basically. So very, very, very important to get your pixel right and to check that it's been done properly as well. You can use a little tool called the Pixel Helper that you install on Chrome that will check on all pages, and you can see that it's active and it's tracking the right thing. That's probably like you only need to do these things once, I want to say, and the first time you run ads, this is where the learning curve will be, because it's the first time you do it. It's also the only time you're ever going to do it, but you just don't skip it and go back to boosting a post.
Honestly, I would even recommend getting the data set and the pixel set up, even if you're not planning on running ads for months, because it will actually gather data. And then it will have that data sitting inside your Facebook account, which is going to make it a lot easier when you run ads. It's going to make it easier for your ads to optimize, which is essentially optimization is how we get them to perform better.
Yeah.
And that's what everybody wants.
Yeah, that's a very, very good point. So if right now you're thinking, you know what, I don't think I'm going to run ads until like next year, but I already have my website, put your pixel on your website right now, because it is going to start like basically learning. So yeah,
you can retarget audiences 6 months old. You can go up to 180 days. Possibly, I know social media you can do 365. I have tried the website 365. So you can pick people up, 12 months down the tracks. If you're running a sale or if you're having a new promo, you can pick all of these people up and put them into an audience that you can promote to.
Yeah, definitely. That's something I know in the Launchpad program, we do this basically at the end of the website build. And I think that any good web designer or anyone that you work with that would set up your website should integrate things like Meta Pixel inside of your website when it launches, not when you want to run ads, but way before, so that it's done, it started getting data, especially if you are posting organically and you're getting organic traffic, that, that's something that you want to be able to record basically.
Yep.
Okay, the last one is your creatives and having obviously some, like, first maybe let's define your creatives, because I think it's a word that we are so used to using, but what do we mean by that?
Yeah, so in terms of creative, what I mean by that are images, graphics, and videos. Ad copy could go in there, but I feel like it's a bit of a different area, if that makes sense. But yeah. I think the creatives, your images, your videos, user-generated content, this is what is going to get someone to stop scrolling in their feed and pay attention to your business. So they really do need to be good, engaging. I have said to people before, we used to be able to just slap a product photo up on Facebook and it would sell, but we just can't do that anymore. So if you're still taking product photos on plain white backgrounds, and they don't work for ads anymore because they're a little boring. So definitely videos, reels, user-generated content, anything that is engaging to someone as they're scrolling their feed, we need to get them to stop and pay attention. We only have about 2 seconds to do it. So they need to be really good. And where I find a lot of people and businesses sort of fall over is that their creative just aren't strong enough. And then they don't get the results on the ads.
Yeah. So creative is really your media file that's going to be in the ad, like your visual. So an image or a video, and then there's obviously a different kind. Image, you're looking at lifestyle or model shot.
Lifestyle, a modeled shot is okay, but lifestyle is anything that has the product in use is perfect. Flat lays used to be fabulous. Now I don't think they're as effective as they used to be, unless it's a very, very good flat lay.
Like a styled flat lay, again, might work because we have some element of like context around the product. If it's like a styled shot, I would definitely, and you need to test those things as well. Like what works for a brand is going to be different for another, and depending on niches as well. But you need to have really those pictures ready. The good thing though is, because remember point 1, I'll put it back on the screen real quick. Website conversion rate. To get your website conversion rate above at least 1.5%, and really I prefer it at 2 and more, you need to have those good photos on your website anyway. So if you've done that first thing well, then often you are able to reuse the product that you have on your website and use that inside of your ads. So it's not like you need to reinvent the wheel entirely. It's making sure that you did it well initially on your website, and then we can kind of use those pictures in your ads. Videos as well. I think, we've been saying for years now, video is very important, but then it's easy to fall back to just photos because they're just easier. But definitely encouraging you to have videos. User-generated content is really great, but I leave some, and some. It's basically, again, it's about stopping the scroll, and so video can do that really well. I will say though, test your videos too. I think that we forget the first 2 seconds of the video are what's going to make someone watch the rest or not. And so sometimes you might have the exact same video, but you change the first 3 seconds and it performed very differently, because that's what people basically got hooked, or like it hooked them or not. So it does mean that you have to test those things still, but don't go in with pictures that you don't feel very confident in and videos that you don't feel very confident in.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not saying you have the better the images are, the better the ads generally will perform. So professional images, if you can get them, are definitely what I would do. And I know when I had an e-commerce store, if I couldn't get images, I just made videos on my phone, and that's fine. Phone videos are absolutely fine.
Yeah, I mean, our phones are really great these days. Like, it's just very. I don't even use my camera anymore because my phone's so good. I'm just like,
yeah, and generally, what we want to try and at least attempt to do is make the ad not look like an ad. So if we were filming in super high spec, really overly produced sort of style of ad, it would look like an ad and people tend to just scroll beyond that. So that's why phones are so good, because it looks normal. It looks like a post that just appeared in my feed.
Actually, that's a really good point. Something I see a lot or have to kind of give feedback on frequently is over-edited posts or videos that have been basically like, trying to do like a collage in Canva, or there's too many graphics around your image, or the video has got too many animation and colors and filters or effects and things that will age the content, because it's just it's just very 2016 kind of thing. And now we're really looking more at an aesthetic that is either like very clean, like a product, like a style product image, or actually something that looks genuinely made in the apps. So you will see some videos, for example, look like, and probably they look like stories that you would have uploaded onto Instagram. So the quality of the video and the photo is still very important. It looks professional. The light is beautiful. But then you're going to see those, like, the text is not the font of the brand. It's actually like the text that you would input in your story on Instagram, because it looks genuine and like, like it was created without too much editing. So don't over edit, you don't need to like edit a video for like 3 hours to create something. It's really, it ages the content a bit, I think, and then ages the brand.
It does. And a simple tip is to have a look at the best performing social media posts. Have a look at the social media posts or videos or reels that were the best performing for you. And is there potential to take that and use it in an ad? You likely need to tweak the copy and do a few different things, but we find our best performing ads for our clients, we get them directly from their social media accounts. Yeah, a lot of the time.
For inspiration as well, like go to the Meta ad library and have a look at what's running and what's been running. So the Meta ad library, basically you can check what ad any account is running at any time. And so you're not going to find like your exact competitor that you're looking at, but look at bigger brands in your niche. Like if you sell jewelry, Google like the type of jewelry that you're making, look at those big first accounts. They're big businesses enough that they will be running ads. Check them out in the Meta ad library and see the kind of creative that they have. And you can see when ads started running. So if an ad has been running for 6 months, it's very likely making money, because if not, they would have turned it off, right? So don't look at just the ad they launched yesterday. That's interesting too, but it won't tell you like the ads that have been running for months. Usually, unless they have a very bad marketer behind it, usually you would turn that off if it wasn't making money. So it can kind of show you, oh, these work well, and give you ideas on like the kind of creative that you can make.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, let me go into a couple of questions here. Georgia is asking, do we also have to set up CAPI, so the conversion API? I'm not clear on what it is, but Meta keeps saying that it's better to install it.
Yeah. Yes, preferably. So the difference between the dataset and CAPI, so conversions API. Oh, okay. Once upon a time, we only needed the pixel. We could track everyone as they surfed the internet, and then Apple decided that people could opt out of tracking for privacy. I'm very sketchy on their privacy. And so Facebook instigated a fix that meant we could track people on a server instead of a browser. And the server is better data. It collects more data than just having the pixel installed. If you have a Shopify store, you should be able to set CAPI up via the integration straight away. Same with WooCommerce, Wix, Squarespace. I'm just trying to think who else. A lot of other stores you can do it. So there's just an integration in there. If you can set it up, definitely set it up. You will get better data off your data set.
Yeah. So basically that's kind of the best way for sure. If you have Shopify, it's going to happen that when you set up the integration, that's what they do. Same with WooCommerce. So yes, it's better for you, Georgia. I don't know if you don't have your website and you've been running leads ads. I think Georgia, that's what she's been doing, to via MailerLite and like landing page and all. I don't think that you would actually be able to set up CAPI in that situation. CAPI being Conversion API. So you might just stick with the Pixel for now, but if and when you're ready to open your website and have, the Shopify integration, then it will be running on the Conversion API. So yeah, it is better. It is better data. Leah said, got to go. Thank you. This has been so helpful. Oh, bye, Leah. I always say bye, like when people are already gone. Yuga said, yes, this is, I think it was regarding the boosted post and like spiraling down when they don't work, and very, very much relatable. And yes, like if you relate to that, like it's not you, it's the boosted post and not your products that suck or whatever kind of story you're telling yourself. It's just that you didn't have the right strategy for ads, and you really need to go through Meta Ads Manager and do things properly. It's not as easy. Yeah, it's not as easy as boosted post, but it's going to give you more results.
Yeah, so obviously when I run ads, we build a full scale funnel out for people using ads. You can do that. That's what the power of the ads are. And I think it's just also important to sort of mention that if you go into Ads Manager and you're setting your ads up, you need to be really careful that you set them up for what you're aiming to do. So if you want sales, you need to run a sales campaign, not a traffic campaign. It's not I just need people on my website and then I will get sales. That's not what will happen.
Yeah.
We'll just send people that will hit your website. Like literally, they'll just send website traffic. They won't buy. They'll just be there looking and then they'll leave. So don't run traffic if you want sales. So be very careful if you set an ad up inside Ads Manager that you are setting the ad up to correlate with your objective, your personal objective for your business. If you want email signups, it's leads to a landing page. If you want sales, it's sales. If you want, sometimes we run post engagement video views, but that's part of a really big strategy that we're running for people. But if you're doing them yourself, and you have a low budget, usually it would just be leads or sales.
Yeah, thanks for saying that. I think a lot of people still run traffic ads. They are cheaper, and so that's literally the only appeal. Except they actually cost you money because they're not going to make you money at all.
No, you can run them. So do we run them? Yes, but as I said, we run them as part of a funnel, and all of that traffic, it will go to a very specific landing page with some information that we want people to consume, and then we will retarget them with the product.
With another campaign that's actually a sales campaign.
Yep.
Exactly. So just the one campaign on I think about it as like this floating campaign on its own trying to get traffic to your website. It will do that. And that's when I see people, that spiral of negative thoughts about the products and the business in general. That's where often it comes from, because the boosted post, they give engagement on usually on the platform. So like comments, like this kind of stuff. But the traffic campaign will actually send people to your site. And so people get very excited about the numbers. Like you look at your analytics and you're like, 1,000 people have visited my website in the last week. Like that's really exciting. But you've paid for people who like to visit websites. You paid for Meta to put your ad in front of people that they know like to click on links and click out of the app and visit websites. They're different people than people who are on the edge of buying or that have a stronger purchase history or that are basically buyers. So you will then tank your conversion rate. Then we don't really know what your conversion rate is, and that's a problem. And you don't get sales when you've paid for traffic. So it's really no bueno. Don't do that.
No,
I think sales or leads is sorry.
Yeah. The traffic and the engagement, those people are way high up in their buyer journey. They're browsers. They're not in the consideration or decision-making stage of whatever it is, they are looking for. So in terms of when you run ads, traffic is a very high level, top of funnel objective. and you need to have a way of nurturing anyone that hits that designated page for traffic. You need a way to nurture them down through your sales funnel so that they become, so that they end up in that decision-making stage, or so that you are front and center when they are making a choice on what to buy. That's the purpose of them.
Yeah. Absolutely. So yeah, we went on a tangent there, but that was good. That's really good, important to make. Georgia said, thanks for the clarification with Scappy. And then we have a question here. So this is a bit of a broad one that I don't think we can answer entirely today, because it's you're going to see, Daniel, very, very broad. But I think we can define what this is at least and explain a little bit what that means. So how to run a successful catalog ad and how to basically read the metrics. So this is from Deb. Very big question. What's a catalog ad? Maybe let's start there for those who are like, what is this?
So a catalog is a catalog. Meta has the ability to go into your website and pull a feed out of all of your products, and then they can turn that into what they call a catalog. You can do a lot of different things with your product catalog, but one of the things you can do is run ads, product catalog ads. There's two different ways. I've made a lot of changes recently. You can run a catalog ad in a normal ad campaign, and it will just pull products from your catalog, and it can display them at the bottom of the main product.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can run the dynamic product catalog,
mm-hmm.
which is a carousel. It will just be a carousel, and it will show people the products from your website that Facebook thinks they want to see.
Yeah. And so dynamic, they used to call it, actually, maybe they changed the name again. Who knows? They change the name all the time. But basically, we still call it dynamic because it is not everyone will see the same product, basically, even though it is the same ad and the same campaign, because, again, it's going to be based on what your little pixel that we talked about before, what info it's gathered about this specific person and the actions that they've taken on your website. And so it's going to allow you to show more specific things. I think a really nice way to use those, you can use them, again, it's a very broad question, actually difficult to answer, because you can do so many things with catalog ads. It really just depends on your strategy. I think they are really convenient for retargeting. That can be a really nice way to actually say what I was sort of talking about before, which is, in the last month, these people have visited at least the product page and they've added to cart, and we can run a catalog ad to those people to try and bring them back to the store to finish their purchase. And that's going to show products that are more relevant for them dynamically, so different for everybody. So that's a nice way to use a catalog ad, for example, but there's many different strategies that you could use catalog ad for.
Yeah, use them at all stages of the funnel, but in my experience, they work best at that very bottom of the funnel, added to cart, not purchased. And Facebook Meta will just show those products to that person that they added to cart with.
And I'm sure you guys have seen those, like you're on Instagram and you have looked at whatever cat toy, so speaking for myself here, like last week, and you were on their website and you looked it up, you weren't sure whether you wanted to purchase it, you got distracted by your toddler. Again, totally not talking about myself. And then like the next week, you're seeing this ad about the specific product that you were checking out, and it looks like this kind of carousel product ad. That's a retargeting catalog ad that they're basically showing me, because it's like, hey, you almost purchased this like little ball thing for your cat. Do you want it still? And so it can work really well for that. I'm sure you guys have experienced it. It's when you feel like, how do they know? It's because you're being tracked everywhere.
Yeah.
Because you've taken that action on some website, so they know. And then in terms of the metrics, I would say that's also a big question. It really depends, again, on like what you're wanting to do with those catalog ads and the metrics that you would want to look out for that. Daniel, were you saying that you have a video on your welcome in your welcome sequence about catalog ads?
About metrics. We have a small metrics training that comes out as part of our welcome flow on one of our list builder signups. Conveniently titled "The Ultimate Guide to Facebook Ads for E-commerce Stores."
That's fine. Easy to find. So maybe Deb, head over to Danielle's website and grab that, so that, because this is the kind of question that you bet where it's hard to show you without being in the ads manager and like seeing where to click and see the metrics, and just also understand generally what metrics you would look at depending on the kind of campaign you're running, the kind of results you actually want. Very different on like the kind of conversions that you want and all of that. Something we could also probably do a proper chat about. But I know we're already at 45 minutes now. Is there any other last minute question before we let you guys go? I mean, we're not holding you hostage. You can go. But before we go, I don't think that I'm seeing anyone coming now. But again, I know most of you guys are going to see the replay and not the live. Ask questions below, and we will be monitoring them for the next few days, basically till the end of the week. So if you have question, as you're watching the replay, please drop in the comments below so that we can see it and answer it. And I will put the links back again here. Danielle's website is this one. And R1, where is it? Is here. This is the program that we have to help you set up a store, email marketing, organic and social ads. And Danielle is in this program as well, helping you with ads in there. So lovely to hang out, Danielle. I'm loving the session with you guys. They're so much more fun than when I'm alone. And very valuable too. So thank you so much for your time.
That's okay. Thank you for having me.
No problem. And I will probably see you, in Slack at some point today anyway.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Bye, everybody. Bye.
Bye.